Hi guys. Hello everyone. Good evening. Welcome to third episode of Cricketing Blues. As promised in our introduction episode, today we are traveling outside Asia and we will have a chat with our one of our international cricketer who plays for Norwegian cricket team, an associate voting member of ICC with high potential growth member status. Before we go ahead and talk with him, let's talk little bit about Norway cricket. The team has consistently been ranked in the top 10 among European associate and affiliate members. In 2014, Norway won the ICC European Division 2, and in 2019, Norway was runners up in ICC Men's T20 World Cup Europe region final. So, after mostly relying on skilled expat cricketers, Norway has recently benefited from a young and an exciting pipeline of homegrown talent like our guest tonight. Our guest, Pratik Agnihotri, is 26 years old. He lives in Oslo, Norway. He also works as security officer at Scan Control, a former sergeant in the Royal Norwegian Air Force, and he has done 1 year diploma in astrophysics. Quite an impressive background, I must say. His cricketing profile says that he is a right-handed opening batsman who has played professional cricket for close to 8 years, and he also plays in elite division in Norway, former under 25 academy national team, and former under 17 and under 19 captain. Let's talk about some of the highlight of his career. He has quite a wonderful career till now. He is the winner of 2018 ICC World T20 European Qualifiers Group C, been best fielder in Norway for multiple years, and also a winner of Norwegian T20 Championship. He is also a winner of multiple series on which he captained some of them across different parts of Europe, which includes Best Batsman Award against Austria during a five-match series. It was a five-match local series with against Austria, and he was a best batsman over there. As far as hobbies are concerned, he loves playing video games, is quite an enthusiast, and also loves Formula One racing. Impressive. So let's, without further ado, let's welcome our guest tonight, Pratik Agnihotri. Hi, Pratik. How are you?
Hello, sir. How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thanks for asking. So, how's everything? How's it going?
Everything is going good. It's sunny day. It's not often we get those in Norway, so once we get them, we need to enjoy them.
That's great. Great to have you on the show. So, are you up for it? Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go. I'm ready. Let's go for it.
So, tell us about your routine during COVID-19 lockdown period. How things are in Norway exactly right now?
Well, the actual lockdown started around March, I think it was. And like everyone, we weren't really surprised, but it was really difficult to know what to do with the day. Just sit
Yes.
at home all day. I mean, that's what you want normally, but during these situations, that's not exactly what's ideal. But
Yeah.
cricket was always stopped, completely stopped, all forms of cricket. So
Okay.
that was very tough.
Yeah.
So we started by doing these internet challenges that you've probably seen those go around the world now. The toilet paper challenge with the cricket bat and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, so those kind of things they helped. They kept the days going, but it didn't take a long time before you started missing that cricket feel, like the feeling of being on the ground, the feeling of holding a cricket bat outside on a stadium or on a ground. So it was difficult, but we got through it, and our season started actually a couple of close to 3-4 weeks ago. So
Okay.
finally back to playing some cricket.
So you guys are back to new normal now, correct? And cricket started.
Cricket has started. It's been a revised schedule or a revised match plan for the rest of the season. It's obviously different with all these new cricket rules or these different COVID-19 rules. So, which has obviously impacted cricket as well. Shining the ball, which is, as you would know, a big part of cricket, is not allowed
True.
anymore, obviously. So
Yeah.
it does change the whole dynamics of the sports a little bit. But again, it's still exciting. I mean, I think everyone is just excited to be able to be on the ground again and just play some cricket.
That's true. Isn't it a bit difficult for bowlers? Correct. Bowlers used to get a lot of advantage if you keep shining the ball. If you put saliva into the ball, it always give them some edge against a batsman friendly cricket game. You can say that.
It is. I mean, definitely bowlers do get the advantage they need for doing what they do with the ball. But as a batsman myself, I can't say that I complain.
Yeah.
The ball is not being able to do that much with the balls is just better for me. I mean, it's easier. I won't say it's easier to play, but it's easier to adapt and adjust to whatever the ball is doing.
True, true. That's definitely. Hope situation gets better soon, and everyone gets into the new normal and they gel well and they can start cricket and they get back to their normal life soon. So let's jump to
Yeah,
our question answer section. I'm expecting some great answers. Are you ready for it?
yeah, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's go for it.
Okay, so let's start with your journey. Tell us something about it, about your cricketing career, about your journey, how you started playing cricket and how you became an international cricketer for Norway.
I started playing football. I was actually a football player in Norway at a decent level, and I played football. And my goal was always to play football. And
Yeah.
I
Okay.
got an injury, and I couldn't play football anymore, so I had to stop playing football. My father, he has played cricket for almost 40 years, starting in India
That's great.
and then moving to Norway, and then he was part of a whole group of people who started cricket in Norway during the 1960s or something like that. And so he's always played cricket. And being an Indian boy, being a guy with an Indian background, obviously I watched cricket a lot. So cricket
True.
was always close by. It was never far away. So
Yeah.
and a couple of times I used to travel with my dad to his practice sessions, always carrying my football in my hand. But one day he asked me to step into the nets and bat. And
Yeah.
I had no idea what to do. And people always often say, especially during my younger days, that cricket
Yeah.
is a sport that you learn 50% from doing it and
Correct.
50% from watching it. And
Yes.
I basically used that 50% of watching it and just tried to copy whatever dad was doing or whatever his teammate was doing.
True.
And maybe that's was something there, and he started showing a lot more interest in my
Correct.
in my cricketing career. And at this point, it
Yeah.
wasn't even a career. I mean, I still hadn't done anything or played anything, but he started. So my dad was basically my first coach, and he started coaching me straight away. And we used to play in my garden, and that's when he started hitting me with tennis balls, and then moving up to tape ball, and then we started doing with hard balls.
Yeah,
And
that's great.
and that's when my love for cricket started basically. And from there, it just I joined the team and I started joining league matches. The interest grew even more. I started understanding that, it's like every other sport. Whenever you see something that you're good at, whenever you find something that you enjoy doing, it
Yes.
it it automatically becomes something that you want to do more. You want to get better at it, and you want to be able to showcase that to everyone else around you. And
Definitely.
that opportunity came for me during the earliest days when there was under 17 trials, and
Yeah.
I
Okay.
uh, I gave my trials there, and I got selected.
Yeah.
And we played a couple of tournaments in England and in Estonia. And as a team, we did really well. And from there, we just moved on to under 19. And when you come to under 19, it's a different scene because under 19 is actually an ICC confirmed and uh, age group. So
Correct.
everything becomes more serious. And
Yeah.
that's when I got my first glimpse of what an actual ICC tournament looks like, the level of professionalism. I mean, sure, everyone wasn't under 19, but you still saw a level of professionalism that you weren't really expecting from such young people. And
True.
that again started just fueling my desire to become a better cricketer. And from there,
True.
we went on to I became the under 19 captain and captained Norway during a couple of tournaments outside of Norway. And from there, we had an under we call it the under 25 national team, but what it actually is just an academy team to select people for the national team. So it's kind of a roster squad for people who can eventually make it to the senior squad. And
Yes.
I became the captain there, and
Okay.
had a lot of success there as well until I was finally selected to play for the senior national team, and that's where I'm now.
That's great. So quite a big interesting start you got, correct, from basically from junior level cricket, and then gradually you became part of a national squad. So yeah, great to hear that. So how do you look back to your international T20 debut in 2018? We already know that you have debuted in T20 World Cup European qualifier. Obviously, it was a big stage for you, and you got your debut there. So how do you look back to that?
It was, I can't really describe the feeling. I mean, it was like I said earlier, when getting the feeling of how an ICC tournament actually works, just seeing the
Yeah.
level of professionalism, not only within your own team, but seeing that
Yeah.
spread out to other teams as well. The feeling
Yes.
was absolutely amazing. I mean, just going there as part of the squad was special enough, but actually having the opportunity to debut there and actually represent my country is there really isn't a better feeling than that. I mean, no matter which level you play at, you always find some sort of regard for what you're doing, and being able to
True.
play for your country is what I would say is the highest honor a cricket player
Yeah.
or any player in any sports can get. So that debut was very special. I did debut against Czech Republic, but in that game, I didn't actually bat because there was a rained game, so we only played. It was a T20, obviously, but we
Okay.
ended up only playing 8 or 9 overs per innings.
Okay. Yeah.
And then obviously we decided to send some big hitters instead of the normal openers that we would. And but my actual the first match I played in was during against Israel during the same tournament, and I got some decent runs, and I was able to get that feeling of international cricket for the first time, and that feeling it's still hidden somewhere inside me, and I can't wait to get back out there and represent Norway. We actually won the whole tournament unbeaten as well, which was
Wow,
just
that's
an
great.
amazing, which was actually just an amazing feat as well. So it was three groups, and we topped our group unbeaten, beating some of the favorites for the tournament as well. And by the end of the tournament, we were actually the favorites. So that
And
was
that's great.
and being part of something like that. I mean, on a world stage, it's nothing short of amazing.
That's great. So, how was your recent experience in ICC Men's T20 World Cup European region final as an individual, as a team? You guys were runners up for that one of the biggest tournament you might have played in recent past. So, how was the recent experience?
Uh, it was it was different in some aspect. We hadn't had that much time to prepare for the tournament in regards to the year before. Um, we had a sort of we were going through a change with our head coach. He had to leave, so were waiting for a new one. And by the time he arrived, he didn't have enough time to get to know his players as much as he would like to.
Yeah.
And in Norway, we don't have turf wickets. We play on AstroTurf, and
Oh,
obviously that
okay.
is a big difference from playing
Definitely.
on AstroTurfs and playing on actual turf pitches, as you would know. And that change was the biggest change we see, because we can't really practice on those wickets here.
True.
So sometimes the only practice we get is when we are actually on the ground and about to play a match or about to practice for a session. So that was it was different this time. I don't think we didn't actually we weren't runner ups for that tournament. It's actually written wrong on the internet. We actually didn't win a single match. To be
Okay.
honest, we it was a tough tournament for us. We What we did well was, no matter what happened, we still stayed together as a team. We were still backing each other. We were still going for it. We had a couple of chances to win games, but because of washed out games, or because of rain and the DL method and everything,
Yeah.
the games were actually not that easy to win after all. So we were a bit unlucky. I would say a combination of being unlucky and just being unprepared,
Yeah.
if I can use that word. But
True.
again, the competition is fierce. There is no team that will give you any sort of breathing room or any wiggle room. They will come at you hard. They
True.
will come at you fast,
Yeah.
and you just have to be prepared for it. And I mean, T20 is it's such a short format, so anything can happen. If you perform well on the day, then sure you'll get away with the win, and if the other
Yeah.
team plays well on that particular day, then unfortunately end up with a loss. So that's just how the sport is.
True. That's true. So, who's your favorite cricketer? Talk us through his influence on your career.
I actually have I don't know if I can say this, but I have more than one favorite cricket player, and the reason for
Okay.
that is I have different favorite players depending on what aspect of the game I'm looking for. So, for
Okay.
example, before I started playing cricket myself, it was
Yeah.
obviously Sachin Tendulkar. I mean,
Yes.
at that point, he didn't really have an effect on my career because I didn't have a career at that point. But
Yes.
just seeing how his career came about. I mean, debuting for India at the age of 15 or 16, and against the bowlers of that time, that is not an easy thing to do. And to
Yeah,
be able
true,
to carry
definitely. Yes.
that, and to be able to carry that performance throughout his career like he did, and end up with, I mean, as many runs as he did, and 100 centuries over his career and everything in between. That is, I mean, it's such an incredible story. And so
True.
obviously, as a lover of the sport of cricket, I would have to say Sachin Tendulkar for everything he has done for the sport itself. As a player myself, I say Virat Kohli. I am a batsman, so obviously he's a batsman as well, probably
Correct.
or arguably the best in the world. The way he plays his shots, the way he goes about his game, but
Yes.
not only what he does on the field, but it's also what he does off the field that impresses me the most. His level of fitness has become I mean, it's slowly becoming the standard of international cricket. I mean, if you want to be a sports person within cricket, you want the fitness level of Virat Kohli, and
True.
um
Definitely.
and I've seen countless videos when how he practices for games, how he practices individual bowlers he's about to play. So just having that level of mentality and that level of awareness to be able to understand the different challenges he's about to face, and just being
Yeah.
able to adapt to those situations quite quickly is something I really admire in him.
He
And when it
always
comes
looks.
to hmm?
Yeah, please go on.
When it comes to level of dedication as well, I mean, you can't really fault Virat Kohli for being where he is now. He's worked really hard for it, and that's a lot of people say that Virat Kohli is their best batsman and or the best player, and I can understand why. He's my favorite player as well, and these are some of the reasons. But when it
Uh,
comes
he
to uh, where, go ahead.
he always look prepared, isn't it? Like when you see him playing, he has a lot of confidence in him, and he just go on, and he looks like he's just into that match. He's there to win it every match.
Exactly. I mean, you can see it in on his face all the time. He has that aggression. He has that. You can see that flame inside of him, just wanting to give it 100% all the time, and that's something I really love. I mean, if you're there to do a job, go 100% for it, right? Don't stop halfway through. But
True.
so yeah, he definitely is one player that has had an immense influence on my career, as well as MS Dhoni as well. And he is one of my favorites solely because of his captaincy skills, his knowledge of cricket.
True.
I can't really find anyone else which are that close to being able to predict what happens within a game, to be able to understand the game of cricket as well as he does, knowing all the rules and regulations, and knowing his players well, and knowing how to manipulate the players into, for example, changing the orders up if that is necessary. Just the amount of knowledge he has for the game of cricket is really something I wish to learn from.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Before we go ahead, we have a quite an interesting question from Sunil Kumar. He's asking you, being an opening batsman, at what stage in T20 do you plan to change gears, assuming you have not lost the wicket for initial 4 to 5 overs? So how you plan to change gears?
The first thing we want to do is, as opening batsmen, our job is to provide our team with the best possible start. We can do that by not losing our wicket, obviously, and scoring some runs. In T20, like I said earlier, it's such a short format that you don't really have time to to think that much about what you're doing, right? So you jump into it, and in a T20 you have the power play overs, right? So you obviously want to use those overs to your maximum. So if you get up to 50, 60, 70, 70, 80 runs in the power
Yeah,
plays without the loss of overs, that
yeah,
really gives you the license to just go for it. And at that
true.
point, I wouldn't really say that you slow down or you change gears, because you're already at high gear then at this point. You're already at the highest gear, and you
Yeah,
continue that flow. In a T20, when you get a flow, you just go with the flow basically. You don't try and change anything that is working. So, but
correct,
if you
true.
do
That's
lose wickets, if you do lose wickets, and you are slightly on the back foot, yeah, sure, you do change gears and you do assess the situation a bit, obviously with your opening or your batting partner as well. Try
yeah,
and assess, are there any particular bowlers we can attack? Is there anything particular they're doing that we should be wary of? And
true.
just through a conversation, you try and just find out what's best for the team at that point in time. And like I said, go with the flow.
True. That's definitely that's what people should take on. Like because you have very less time. So if you're having a good nick and you just want to go and get as much as run you can get. Correct. That's true. So let's go on, and we have a very interesting question today for you about very less people actually know about cricket, Norway cricket. I can say that. So tell me, like, tell us something about it. Example, how many leagues you have, how many grounds are there, and what type of people play cricket over there, about women's cricket or anything you would like to highlight.
I can highlight it all. We can start by how many teams we have. So we have around 50 to 60 teams.
Wow, that's
And that
great
is
number.
that is also with some teams having their own B squad or C squad.
Yeah.
So and then we have how many, five divisions, with one
Okay.
being the elite division.
Okay.
So it's the elite division. Then we have four divisions underneath that, but
Okay.
that is being revamped to be able to and make it like slightly better because we don't have that many grounds here. So we are getting more and more, but we
Yeah.
have four or five in the capital in Oslo, and then we have two,
Okay.
three in other cities around or outside. And trying to manage that many players or that many teams on those grounds is a challenging job. And credits to the Cricket Federation who have been able to do that consistently over the years.
True.
When it comes to player count, the number I have might be outdated, but the last number I have is around 7,500 to 8,000.
Okay.
The
Okay.
now the majority of these people are actually from a minority group, so from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. That's
Okay.
uh, that's the majority of people playing the sport in Norway. Obviously with the Norwegian backgrounds, but um, and we do have certain individuals or teams from Australia, New Zealand, and England, of course.
Okay.
And then so what our so what our goal is now is to try and implement the sport more within the school system in Norway to be able to allow more
Junior cricket.
youngsters to know what junior cricket, to start them at a
Yeah.
young age, to
Yeah.
be able to see if there is an interest for it. And I know there is an interest for it, so especially at the young age, so be able to get some more to prepare the younger generations for cricket as well. That would be amazing. Now, when it comes
That's
to
great.
women's cricket, we do have a women's national team, and we have five registered women's teams in Norway as of right now.
Okay.
It it really the women's cricket in Norway has really over the last couple of years really just shot up. I mean, the level of dedication some of these girls show is really incredible. And I
That's
myself,
great.
I have been and I am currently an assistant coach for the women's national team.
No, that's
And
great. Yeah.
so I've been working with a lot of these women and seeing the level of dedication some of them have really has it has shown that Norway can be a women's cricket nation after
Nation.
all, especially with women's in mind as well.
Okay. That's great. Like you need to prepare from the grass level, correct? If you want a cricket to flourish in your country or in any part of the world, you have to start with the junior cricket. You have to give enough chances to them. You need to prepare them well so that you and in future, in 5 years future down the line, you will get a better team, correct?
No, definitely, absolutely, I agree. If you start them at a young age, you can actually implement a lot of the different values and ideas of what cricket can actually teach you. Apart from being a cricketer as well, but away from
Yeah.
being a cricketer, it can teach you so much about being a person as well. And that's the ultimate goal, especially for the young kids, being able to show them that cricket is not only a sport; it's more than a sport. It's uh, it's anything you want it to be. To be honest, I mean, for me, cricket has always been something that I used to watch at home with my family, especially with my dad.
True.
Just sit at home, talk cricket with him, just sit and talk about आपको क्या लगता है, आप कौन सा बैट्समैन आएगा, नहीं मुझे लगता है विराट कोहली आएगा, नहीं नहीं मुझे लगता है धोनी आएगा. So just
True.
having these type of conversations has really, I mean, apart from being a cricket sport, yeah, it does strengthen the bond between people, be that
Yes.
your father, your mother, other brothers, maybe some friends you can bond over with cricket. So, and that's
True.
the ultimate goal we are seeing at now, being able to form these young talents to be able to look at cricket as more than just something they have to do, but something they want to do.
Correct. That's true. So you also work. You also have your professional life. Uh, and so, how you manage your professional life and cricket?
It's not easy. It hasn't been easy. It's much easier now because I've done it for such a long time. So now it's just more routine, and I've gotten a feel for it. But at start, it was really difficult because for one, I didn't know how serious I was about cricket. You know, cricket wasn't
Yes.
as big as it is now in Norway. When I started, it wasn't as big at all, and you want to do well, and you want to be able to look at this as a career. But again, you have to weigh up the pros and cons of it, right? So as of right
Yes.
now, Norwegian cricket isn't something that you can actually invest a whole career in. But
Yeah.
that's the
Okay.
goal that in a couple of years times, in 5 6 years times, you can actually do that. That's the ultimate goal. So at a young age, this was really different. I didn't work as much when I was younger, so it was easier to play more cricket and just go to school, play some cricket after work or before school and stuff like that. But once I started working full time, then it sure was a challenge, and obviously
Yeah.
I needed help from my work as well to be able to adjust for national team practices, national team practice games, and actual national team tours and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it used to be really difficult. I used to work all day, and then I would train for 3 hours, go home, eat, go to sleep, and then work up again and do the whole thing again and again. And I still do that today, but it's much easier now because now I've gotten a feel for it. It's more routine, but
Yes.
it hasn't been easy. And for everyone out there who's thinking of this as well, I mean, there are so many different ways to tackle a situation like this. My approach was just a lot of getting angry. I wasn't always getting enough sleep, or I wasn't enough always. Maybe I wasn't feeling well enough. And because of all this, I mean, there was points in my career where I thought that maybe I shouldn't play cricket. Maybe I
Yeah.
should just focus on my work and just let cricket be a hobby and nothing else. I mean, cricket for me
Yes.
is a passion, and it has been for a long time now. But
Yes.
when you can't give your passion enough time, you tend to think what if it really is your passion or if it's just a hobby. But
Yeah.
having the correct people around you really makes you understand that no, it is my passion, and I really want to do well. And hopefully, if you're or if you're lucky enough to have you surrounded with people who understands this, then dealing with it becomes much more easier than you would think.
Yeah, that's true. So you were also a part of NPL, Norwegian Premier League, which is, I think, it should be similar to other Premier Leagues that's running across different parts of the world. So, and you also have played against players like Misbahul Haq, Umar Gul, Abdul Razak, Chris Green, who is a big bash player as well. So, how was an experience playing with them? Any interesting incident you would like to share with us?
That tournament was so much fun in so many different aspects. I mean, for sure, yeah, being able to play against such big stars that have not only performed at the highest level in cricket, they are regulars in the higher level of cricket. They do this all the time. This is their job, play cricket. And I think this was around when Pakistan had just became the number one test team in the world. And
Yeah.
then having someone like Misbah Haq, who was the captain at that time, come in and play some games against us with us. I mean, you really did understand, or you really did get the feel of playing with some huge stars, and you saw that in the way they talked, the way they went about how they shaped their innings, how they shaped their talks with the teams. I mean, everything was professional. Everything was. It really gave an insight in how international cricket at the highest level really is. And
Yes.
yeah, I did get to play against Umar Gul, being a batsman myself, and him being a fierce fast bowler as he is. I mean, sure, that is there were some a lot of nervous, but then again, I mean, you can't really let that get you, can you? I mean, sure, I was a youngster, and he was a peak bowler for Pakistan, and
Yeah.
you just have to think of him as any other bowler. I mean, as soon as you
Correct.
start thinking of him as who he is, it's automatically he's already in your head, and
Yes.
we can't allow that as batsmen. So it was challenging. It was really challenging. But again, I think I learned more in that tournament than I could have learned anywhere else because I was already up against huge stars. Abdul Razak as well, being able to. I mean, it's not every day I can say that I have hit Abdul Razak for 15 plus runs in an over, and that is definitely something. I still remember every single shot from that over as well. So that one over against Abdul Razak was really special.
Yeah. That's true. So it gets a lot of like different. You get a lot of chances against playing these players. You learn a lot from them, and it also helps your cricketing abilities to grow as a cricketer as well. Correct?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Like I said, I learned a lot from that tournament, just being not even necessarily playing against them, but just being able to be around these big stars. I mean, like I said, this is what they do all the time. This is their full-time job. This is what they live off, and you can really see that on the way they talk and Misbah Haq as well. I mean, he really has the knowledge of cricket when it comes to how to go about the game, and we were we were able to have some chats with him about that, being youngsters as well, and he was more than welcome or more than open enough to share some of his ideas during the games, and it was just an amazing experience. So thanks to everyone involved in that to making sure that happened, and to be able, and I mean, such big stars choosing Norway as a platform and being for them to
Yeah.
come over to Norway from such far away, and not only play the tournament, but actually being involved in shaping our youngsters as well. I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, it was such an amazing feeling, and I learned so much from them and that tournament
That's great.
itself.
That's good. So you are playing cricket from a very junior level in Norway, as you already mentioned to us, and you have grown up as one of the prominent member of the Norwegian team right now. So please tell us how supportive is your cricket association, Norwegian Cricket Association, in nurturing young talent?
Very, very. From a when I started playing cricket, there was still was a lot that could be done, and I
Yeah.
think that my generation of youngsters were a part of like starting something up, and it's very very clear now that that has been not only startup but already showing
Yeah.
results. I mean, a lot of the talents we have in our current under 19 team is,
Yeah.
I mean, I can at the top of my head I can think of five or six of them being able to play for the national team regularly, and
Okay.
they get followed up by the federation themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Our national team coach, which is we just got him now in February. He's been the former assistant coach of UAE, which is a
Yeah.
associate teams, if I'm not wrong, and
Yeah.
he was the coach of the under 19 UAE national team, which were just in the under 19 World Cup. So there's definitely a lot of experience there we can learn from, and him being a former under 19 coach, he knows exactly what to bring out from youngsters. And that's
Yeah.
what we're seeing already now with him just being uh, half a year in office for us.
Yeah.
He's really brought out some sides of the youngsters that we really didn't really know we had. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what that brings in, especially knowing that the federation are willing to invest in the youngsters much more now than ever, and that is very exciting.
True. True. So that's so great. Like the association needs to work hard on youngsters. That's the grassroots level, as what we mentioned earlier as well. So if they are doing well for their future, eventually it will help out the cricket association as well in getting good cricketers and growing as a nation as well for a cricket fraternity. So yeah, that's true. So tell us about your future plans from here. Where in this point of your career you would like to see yourself after 5 years down the line?
Well, to be honest, for me, I mean, I've been a part of a productive or been a part of a group that is trying to expand cricket into schools and into the younger generation in Norway. And in 5 years' time, I would hopefully see cricket as a household sport, a sport that not necessarily everyone knows about, but everyone is willing to try out, to try and play. When it
True.
comes to me personally, I would hope that I am still a regular in the national team. I'm obviously going to keep working hard for that, and
Yes.
hopefully we'll see Norway on the map in some regards in some tournaments. We have been lucky enough to win a lot of tournaments previously. Hopefully we can keep winning those tournaments and keep getting Norway ahead in both rankings and in terms of knowledge and experience for the squad. And we're still we're starting to get a much younger Norwegian national squad, and that's the
True.
whole point and that's the whole goal, to be able to have
Yeah.
youngsters represent the country and groom those talents to be able to keep performing from nowhere at a long term period.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. That was great to have a chat with you, and some you answer some of the questions quite well. So we are introducing our new section. Before we go ahead, and take some questions from our viewers. Let me tell everyone that we are introducing a new section in our chat show, which is a quick fire question answer session. So, are you ready to take those questions? I would like to have some candid answers on that as well.
Okay, I can give it my best shot at least.
It's a basic one. So, let's start with the first question: Netflix at home or movies in theater?
Netflix at home.
Great. Red ball or white ball?
I haven't really played that much red ball, so I have to say white ball.
Okay. Reverse sweep or switch hit?
Reverse sweep.
Okay. Warren or Murli?
Oh, both of them in their own aspect. I mean, I can't choose between them.
A difficult one, correct. A more difficult one is coming on. Sachin or Virat?
Oh, well, I'm here as a cricket player myself, so Virat.
Okay, that's great. Uh, yeah, it's good. Saurav Ganguly or MSD as a captain?
MSB.
Okay. Yeah. Describe in one line about the experience of seeing Northern Lights.
In one line, truly out of this world.
True, true. I have seen the pictures of it, and definitely one day I would like to see it
You're
physically
welcome
as
to
well.
come.
Yeah, sure, sure. One person to bat for your life.
Sachin Tendulkar.
Okay. Favorite holiday destination?
Now I'm stuck.
You
In
can say
terms of
Thailand or Bangkok.
excitement, I haven't been there yet, but once I come to Thailand, we'll say Bangkok.
Okay, great.
I've seen pictures and it really looks amazing there. So I'm definitely going to take my visit there sometime.
Great. So the most important question: Irfan Pathan, the bowler, or Irfan Memon, the interviewer? Who would you like to face again?
Irfan Mehman, the interviewer.
Thank you. Thumbs up. So that's the end of our this round of this quick fire questions. Now let's take some questions from our viewers. I'm expecting some great questions from our viewers on our Bangkok Blues live page. So I'm just waiting for some of them to come up and ask. Meanwhile, I'll ask some of the question which our Bangkok Blues team has asked. So let's get on with the first question. Uh, a retired international cricketer you want to bat with and why?
Sachin Tendulkar.
And why?
For obvious reasons, and for obvious reasons. I mean, being able to share a pitch with such a legendary player. I mean, if I learned so much from playing against and playing with players in the NPL like I did, Misbah, Abdul Razak, and Chris Green, just imagine how much I can learn from sharing the pitch with Sachin. I mean, there is such a
True.
I mean, yeah, it would just be amazing to be able to do that.
That's definitely true. So like batting with them would be once a lifetime chance you can get.
Oh yes,
Correct. Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. So another question from Sunil Kumar, who is our fellow cricketer in Thailand. He plays for Thailand Cricket Club here. How do you plan to come back from bad patches? What's the mindset during the bad phase, and how do you improve to get back quickly?
That's a great question, and that's a question that is very dear to me because that's happened multiple
Yes.
times in my career. I've
Yeah.
had a lot of bad matches, and like I said earlier, if you surround yourself with the correct people, it really
Yes.
helps to put everything in perspective. And I've been lucky enough to play for a club and country that has really shown a lot of support towards my cricket, and that has helped a lot. When it comes to me personally, the mindset is obviously you're down, you're feeling
Yes.
like this is not going anywhere. But having the correct people around you can lift that mindset, and then you again yourself I just started remembering my best performances,
Yeah.
and suddenly I saw that my best performances actually came against clubs that also gave me the my of patches,
Yeah.
and that just gave me a confidence boost that if I did it once, I can do it again. I just need to
Yeah.
keep working hard. I just need to keep my head down and just not come with excuses. I mean, excuses don't get you anywhere. Yeah,
True.
there is a lot of people in a lot of different fields in the world have said that there is no shortcut to success, and I didn't really understand what that meant until I started playing more professional cricket. And I really understand that that is actually the case. You can't take a shortcut
Yeah.
to success. You really need to put in the hard work, and that hard work will eventually find its way back to you.
That's true. That's true. Definitely. So Yeah, let's go ahead with the second question. Which cricket team you would like to, you like watching other than India or Norway, and why?
I would say the IPL, and my team is Royal Challengers Bangalore. So obviously, all the games for RCB is something I always enjoy watching. And again, you learn so much from watching the games, especially as a cricketer myself. So
True.
I would say RCB is definitely a club or a team that I really enjoy watching games for.
Yeah, that's true. So another question from one of our guests, Monish, who plays with us in the same club. Which batsman do you follow?
Oh, are we talking on Instagram? I would I would think it's Instagram we're talking about.
Well,
So I
that's a
would
good
say
point. That's a good point you highlighted. So tell us now, Instagram as well as in international cricket.
okay. I've been lucky enough to meet a lot of international players, so um, being able to talk to them has really helped. So apart from, we'll talk about real life first, and that's um, Jonathan Trott is someone I've been able to meet, and obviously all the players I've played against and with during the NPL, sorry. Um, but someone that I follow, let's say Instagram. Virat Kohli, obviously, is the first one I started following. I do follow David Warner,
Okay.
and I actually follow mostly batsmen. Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Ajinkya Rahane, Suresh Raina, David Warner, and Jofra Archer as well. So
Okay.
there is a
Great.
lot of players. There is a lot of players I follow. Yeah.
That's great. So, like some of the people are very much amazed that cricket in Norway is at that level. As you mentioned, you have so many teams over there, so many expats comes up and they take this game seriously and being a part of such a beautiful game of cricket. So it's like amazing, correct? So we have another question: can Bangkok Blues Cricket Club play a series in Norway, or you guys can come up and we can have a quick tournament?
That's not for me to answer, but I would definitely not be opposed to that, and I'm sure that the Cricket Federation would love for that to happen. But don't quote me on that. But I think we would be more than happy to either come over to Thailand or have you guys come over to us and have a series. That would be amazing. Me for once, I would say let's bring it on.
Okay, great. So Rahul Singh, who has like one of our viewer, is asking Pratik, in limited overs, high run chases, how do you plan your batting strategy?
We What we tend to do is we break up that target into smaller targets.
Yeah,
So in a T20 game, if you're chasing, let's say for easy sake, let's say 200 runs in a T20, which is that's a decent score to chase
yeah,
in on any pitch in any ground. If you score 200, it's in a T20, it's a good score.
true.
So how do we go about breaking down that target? Well, for first starters, you have three in my head. You have three aspects to a actual innings. You have the power play and the middle overs and the death overs. So that's the three
Yes,
different aspects you have in a game. And as an opener, obviously we want to use the power play to our biggest advantage, right? So if we get 60, 70, 80 runs in that power play, that's amazing. So that we've already broken up that. So our first target is what do we get or what do we achieve within the first 6 overs of the game. And after that, you start looking at now the circle is going to get bigger. People might move outside of the circles. You might have deep fielders on the boundaries.
yes,
We pick our moments, we pick our targets, we pick our bowlers. Who do we attack? Who do we think we should fall back on? Who do we see? Whose overs do we see through, and whose overs do we attack?
true.
And that's something we decide on the pitch while we're playing, depending on what's been happening. And during the middle overs, it's just one thing, and that's strike rotation. You have to
Yeah,
keep that strike rotating. There's nothing else you can do. You will get some bad balls, and you just need to be aware, and you just need to be ready enough to find those
true.
bad balls, know your own range as a batsman, and pick your spots and pick those boundaries. And apart from that, just keep rotating the strikes. And if you do get four singles in an over, and you get a boundary, and then you have the odd wide or no ball and a free hit or whatever that might be,
Yeah, the extras
you
keep
end up
on
having
coming. Like, yeah,
they will. I mean, we're even though professional careers are professional, we're still human, right? So a wide every now and then might happen. And
yeah,
if you end up having a run chase or of 200, if you get like during the middle overs up to over 15 or 16, if you have still 30, 40, 50 runs to chase. I mean, that should be more than
True.
capable. So
True.
my answer would be, in short, would be to um, break up that big target into smaller targets
True.
where you want to be in over 6, in over 10, 15, or even shorter than that. And that should be able to help you to better assess where you are according to the lunches.
Great. Hope Rahul Pratik has given you the answer. Let's take a very interesting question from Swati. Swati she's asking like, well, I think I had one of the question which I striked out, but let's ask you this question. Which one is the longest six you ever hit and against whom?
My longest 6 I've ever hit, and against whom? Right when you asked that question, I had 2 6s coming up in my head, so it has to be one of them. And they were in the elite division in Norway
Yeah.
against a rival team, actually, for the club I
Okay.
play against, or the club I play for. It was I danced down the wicket and hit it straight down,
Yeah.
straight down the pitch above the bowler's head. In terms of distance, the actual boundary was 80 meters, and it probably cleared the boundary by another 10, 15, so maybe
Okay.
90, 95.
1995. Okay, that's a good six. I can say that. Swati, hope Pratik has answered your question. Another question, very interesting question, which every cricketer has in the mind, like Test or ODIs or T20s. What are your views in both the formats? All these formats.
Okay, let's say T20 it's probably the format we play most. So it's probably the most dear to me as a player myself, because that's the one I play the most. So,
Yes.
but it is a shorter format, and I love my longer innings, and I love to be able to stand on the pitch and leave the ball and duck or defend the ball, and so that is something I love to do. So for me, my favorite is ODIs. We have
Okay.
played a lot of ODIs around the world, so those are definitely my favorite to play
Okay.
and to watch as well, And when it comes to Test cricket, I mean, if I ever become lucky enough to play a first class match, 4 day cricket or 4 day match, or a 5 day Test match, I mean, that would be a dream come true. I mean, playing Test cricket is probably the highest honor a cricketer can ever have, and I definitely support that view. And I would definitely want to, at some point in my career, be able to play a 4 day or 5 day Test match. That would be really amazing.
That's great. So before I go ahead, I'll just ask the viewers who are watching this live chat show if you have any more questions. We are up for taking them in another 5 minutes. So if you have, please write it down to us, and we will get Pratik to answer them. Pratik, I have very interesting question for you. As a cricketer, every cricketer, I think, 90% of the cricketer must like answer yes to this question, and they will tell us. But I would like to ask you that question. Do you have any superstitions going into the match? Any superstitious thing which you do, which you have?
Yes, I do. I do. I always touch the ground before I enter the ground. So
Yeah.
always pay my respect to the ground. I think I missed that once or twice, and I got out golden duck in both games.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've always done that. Once on the ground, there isn't really any. Obviously, I always look around the ground to see where the fielders are before I take my stance. But when I enter the match for the first time as an opener, obviously, I would fasten my gloves,
Yeah.
have a look at the ground, tap my bat once, and then go up again and look at the ground again. And
Okay.
I would do that. And again, when I exit the ground, I would always pay my respect to the grounds again. If I don't do
Yeah.
that, yeah, I don't get runs.
Bad omen, you can say that, correct?
Bad omen.
It's not good for you. Okay, that's
No.
great. So let's ask a very important question, and we are actually ending up our chat show. So, if you had to give one piece of advice to yourself when you made your debut for Norway, what would it be?
Don't take unnecessary stress upon yourself.
True.
That's something I would, and don't feel the pressure to having to perform. I think I took too much pressure on myself to that I have to perform. That if I don't perform, it's not good. I have to perform. I think I took. I mean, I like to have that sort of pressure because it brings out the best in you. That's what I believe. But if I think I took unnecessary a lot of it, and that just ended up damaging me a bit in terms of performance levels and stuff. So I
True.
would say to my younger self, don't take too unnecessary pressure and just believe in your own. Uh, just believe in your own abilities to be able to perform well.
True. Oh, that's definitely one thing which, as a cricketer, because we all are like passionate and we love the game of cricket. It's one thing is for sure. You need to keep your head clean. If you think a lot of thing, it will never be beneficial for you in the game of cricket. And whatever you are playing, you need to be strong headed. Even if you are less skilled batsman or less skilled bowler, if you are clear headed and you have a good uh, you can say that persona and about the thinking about the wicket and about the ground or about the cricket, it will take you a long way. So that's a good thing. uh, Another thing which Sunil wants to say, that good insight from your cricketing fraternity. It definitely helps overall development of cricket in upcoming countries, correct, and the development of game as a cricket. So thanks. On that note, I would like to thanks as you answered most of the questions, and I hope we can have you again soon and talk
I
a
would
bit
love
more
to.
about it. Yeah. Okay. One very interesting question we are before we end up, Pratik. It's a Pawan Agnihotri is asking one of the question. Can you remember? Do you know him personally? It looks like Agnihotri. You share the same. Uh,
That's my father.
okay, that's great. Great to have you on the show, sir. Can you remember when you hit your first six?
I
This
can,
is
and
your question
I
for
know
your dad.
exactly why I hit that.
Okay.
No, that was during a tournament in Spain in La Manga, and
Okay.
it was the same type of six. I hit it straight down the ground, and it went for six, and I was really surprised. And all my teammates started clapping, and I lifted my bat and my helmet as if I made a century. I remember doing that.
Great. So, it's a great to have a junior Agnihotri and a senior Agnihotri together on the live chat. So, and definitely we have a lot to talk about it. And I hope I can have you again soon and talk a bit more about it. Thank you for giving your time today.
Definitely.
It was
I'll,
absolute pleasure to host you.
no, the pleasure was all mine. Thank you very much for having me, and I would love to come back.
Yes. All the best for your future. Be safe and take care.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. See you. Bye.
Goodbye.
And here we had today Pratik Agnihotri, who has shared a lot of insights about Norway cricket. And it was great to have him on the show because it's very difficult to understand and to know what other countries, how they are playing cricket, what all issues they have in their cricket. It's absolute pleasure to have him on the show, and we will definitely go ahead and we'll try to bring more and more guests as we can in near future. Thanks for joining today and have a great night. Thank you. See you again. Bye.